And welcome everyone to yet another PTC Talks, where we are excited today by having Henry Puto from Rockwell Automation here for the second time, I think, today for a session on a successful joint Rockwell Automation and PTC digitalization project with a company called PulPac. But first, a very quick overview about by myself, and my name is Torbjörn Peterson, and I'm the Alliance Manager for PTC in the Nordics, and we are running all these webinars on Fridays every week, same time. Where we also invite customers and partners for some inspiration on digital transformation to see what is possible and how to make things happen. And all the past webinars have also been recorded and are to be found on the registration site. And the agenda for today is very first overview of PTC by myself, and then Henry will run the show by introducing himself and touch base on a few challenges, how to address these, and then also talk a little bit about the business outcomes. And at the end, we are also having a Q&A session, so please keep your questions to the end. You could also put them in the chat, and we will actually pick them up later on. So over to the next slide, Henry.
There we go.
Thank you, sir. So PTC is a global software company with a headquarters in Boston, and we provide market-leading solutions on IoT, augmented reality, PLM, SLM, ALM, and CAD through the digital thread to help companies to accelerate their digital transformation. Over to you, Henry.
Thank you so much, and thank you very much for inviting me to this opportunity to speak a little bit what we are doing together. So I will pinpoint the ability to have this great partnership, and that is really helping our customer, our common customer PulPac, to really realize and do some amazing digital transition. So PulPac is an IP company. They are using machines and a system integrator called TechTribe. So this is a very nice ecosystem that is transferring and helping to do the transition for a more digitalization based application. So let's have a look what is this ability, and shortly, my company Rockwell Automation, we are only working with automation. We have a presence of around 5,000 people here in EMEA, supporting customers both locally but also global accounts. And here is short agenda, so a little bit introduction to PulPac and what they are doing, how they are a very important player in this sustainability field, and how we swiftly transition towards circularity by digitalization, Q&A session, and then the next steps. So PulPac, they are helping to hit the ground running and accelerate from moving away from single-use plastics to go into these dry molded products that is much more sustainable and have a much less energy consumption in the manufacturing of the products. They use also less water, dramatically less water. And it is these products in the upper right corner. There you can see the first part of the products. So this company is in a very nice scale-up procedure and a global approach to the market. So it is very important for us as companies to help them to really have a good rigid technology and support them to be able to be remote as well at the same time. The company is based in Gothenburg, but works globally. And if you see here, it is also very fast. It is actually the product that could be used for much faster speeds in production. And if you look at the dry molding technology, that is really requiring a lot of space, a lot of energy, a lot of water. So that is why this new technology is very exciting. And PulPac, they are an IP company, so they are selling the rights to use the technology and provide it into machines. And of course, this makes sense. We have a market situation with a lot of demands. There is a supply chain pressure, need to minimize the downtime. we need to focus on the carbon footprint, see what we can do to remove the plastic from the sea. So there's a lot of different aspects impacting the customers today, and how can we, with very clever solutions, help to reduce the impact from plastics. So with a strong system integrator partner, TechTribe, they are very keen also to work sustainable, and everyone has to do what they can for the sake of future generations. So that is the TechTribe message, and partnering together with these very innovative companies is really an important part of our work. So what we are doing, the prototypes that were built was based on CAD models connected together. So you see the digital thread here, start from the CAD, moving to the automation. You connect that automation to this dynamic digital twins. So it's possible to simulate and do what if analyze and optimize the line as much as possible. Then when you have start to use the very important assets as the CAD files are and put them into the extended reality, there is a very good ability to have this kind of connected worker, do digital work instructions, designs, to make it more convenient and easy to do and manufacture the product in the best way. Then, of course, there is a step to go as well to analytics and minimize like use of chemicals, optimize production depending on what and where the machines are placed. So by connecting this digital thread, it is a very important part of the journey. So if we move ahead, we had the analysis, been looking into how can the most efficient way be to produce machines, start to use demonstrators to be able to get a common understanding on what the company will achieve, start to do simulations when you just have more like an animation-based workflows and product flows, and then start to go into the emulation part when you put the physics into play. So that is really giving insights. Where is the kinematics giving some impact? Where is the friction not enough, and so on. As the next step is to see, okay, we can also use these files with these emulated models, start to do the virtual commissioning part, and that is reducing the need of flights, need of transport, need of traveling. So that could be minimized at the most. So in this journey with this customer, it was very convenient for the engineering teams to work with a digital twin, and then it's a good cover to the people who will take and start up the real machines, because there is backup functions all the time and they can access remotely to the real machine from the knowledge of the digital twin. And next step there is also to utilize all of these nice possibilities with operator training and operator simulations. So to be able to have this kind of skills acceleration, be able to have job rotation in a good way, help really to do only mistakes in the model, then you are fully trained when you start to do the production. So here is the connection. You can really tie together Creo mechanical CAD to emulate 3D. It's fully supporting. You can use the electrical CAD drawings, import them to the system, so you don't need to redo the work. You only do the work once. You can use simulations from MATLAB, for example, to be able to simulate some very specific topics in the model. And there is more ways to connect. It's fully supporting wherever will be the control system, whatever you want to simulate from. there is a very good APIs and gateways to emulate 3D to be able to work with a dynamic digital twin. And this is actually the stack we are working on. Here is our model of the deep tech, and here is the emulate 3D part first from the design phase. Do the right thing from the beginning. Really focus on optimizing and have a good platform collaboration. Then when you use these very optimized models, it's very easy to apply the automation on top on it. And afterwards, you connect assets, you connect IoT, so you're able to extend the digital thread and bring out the most of the capabilities. So if you have a look a little bit in the real life, here is the rendering of the production line. It looks really realistic. So this is the dynamic model that has been rendered, and it helps if you discuss about training, presentation of line, that you have a really good look and feel of the CAD model and the digital twin. Then when it's time to do some optimization, it is part by part, you can simulate and really understand what are the critical parts in the machine, what needs to have more focus, how can we connect people from different continents to have a common view of what needs to be done, how can different parts in the production line support each other, and will the machine really fit in the production line? So you can see also upstream, downstream, so the production line will be well connected. And this was a very important part to have the ability to really work remotely when you are a company that are in the scale-up phase. You need to support globally. This is tools that really make it happen. And when we then come to the commissioning, here is the picture of the real machine. So here you can see that it's not a big difference from the rendered model. And the help with the digital twin is that at this stage, you can actually continue to work with the digital twin. You can see how much can we speed up the production, how will that bottleneck be impacted, and you can also start to see, okay, are there any options we can develop here to further on optimize the machine? And you can work with the HMI screen, start and stop, move in with virtual reality to be able to connect teams globally into the same model, so you have the single source of truth. So the next steps then, when the machine is built, so by using this software, it is very easy to see, okay, how will this fit together with the existing production lines? Here you can have a very good overview how the machines they are working together, what kind of interactions will be between operators, between robots. You can easily work with the digital factory here and see, okay, we need to build another factory. Here we can reuse all of this content. We can put them into libraries and then very fast build the next factory. So it's a really good scale up capabilities. This is not exactly the same production line that PulPac is using, but this is a very good example of how it could look like. And the coming steps then, we take this, what we have learned, we engage workforce, we can do much more from home, from site, work together, invite the experts, increase the operator effectiveness and safety, bring expertise anywhere with remote collaboration, emulate the process, and most important, minimize the scrap and unnecessary machine runtime to be able to really connect the workforce together. Next step in this digital engineering journey has already been started. So that was the next step, to connect the machines with ThingWorx. So you have all the PLCs, you have the motors, you have the data from PLCs connect them together, and wrap them to be able to transform to performance benchmarking. So you can see now here is ability to connect the different factories together, different production lines, use ThingWorx for the OEE to have and bring good insights for the guys who are running the production and needs guidance. And we are use of that in the modern car today. You have so much information and insights that really helps you to be a better driver. So that is really the topic here, to help the machine builders to have the dashboard, to get the insight, to be able to take a good decision. And when this is in place, it is also very good to extend now with the AR-enabled operations. So we can bring all of the information, CAD files, to give some extremely useful digital work instructions, help to put in guides. There are critical moments when you need to change some spare parts, so it will be done in the best manner. And you can also track and see from quality perspective that the right people have the right skill sets, and all of the assembly has done in the right manner. So this is the journey that we have been enabling now together, PTC Rockwell, with our system integrator, Tech Tribe, to PulPac. So let's see. So by enabling the power of technology is of course very exciting, but we reduce the impact on the planet, reduction of travel needs, track standby consumption of assets, so you can really see that there are no unnecessary movements. If there are breaks, something like that, you take down all of the consumers. Enabling insights also from the production for further optimization operations. So this is absolutely supporting the journey to a more sustainable production. So now we open up for the Q&A. I think it's a good part here, and please, after the Q&A, you're free to contact me, and we can see how we can do more together.
Fantastic, Henry. Thanks for sharing this very, interesting joint case that we have here. So as you said, let's open up for any questions that you might have. So raise your hand, or you could just, also put your question in the chat here. So let's see. I think, we had a first question here actually, and that is related, to the digital twins. And where do you actually see that the dynamic digital twins value the most? If we consider the sustainability perspective.
Yeah, I think really to use the competency from everyone who are engaged. It is very easy to have this collaboration platform and reuse. We had the assets, the CAD files, we put them into live, so you have the dynamic capabilities to better understand each other, have a better transition between like mechanical knowledge, automation knowledge, and invite more people into some kind of sessions to see, okay, have we really done what we can to build more sustainable machines and minimize scrap? It is easy to do what-if analysis in a digital model and do the mistakes there, instead of producing a lot of material, and then you notice that, yeah, the material is not fulfilling the required quality.
Thanks, that was a really good answer. Another question was around, if you add an IoT platform to a machine, where will it value the most from a machine builder perspective, and maybe also from a end user perspective, in your view?
Yeah, that of course it matters depending on where you are in the digitalization maturity, but from the first start, I think here's for the machine builder point of view, you're enabling new way of engaging with your end user. You can provide much more services that will help to give insights, will help to understand how your machine are running. Will the machine run the way it's designed for? But you can also learn from how it's used, because sometimes the machine could be or could have much more wider way of being used. So you can learn a lot, get more intimacy with the customer, and also provide training depending on the local requirements. And from the end user perspective, we have all of us has done the journey to enable more smart technology and see how it starts to work for you. So by understanding more of what is ongoing, it is much easier to do the right thing, prioritize your activities, start where it matters most, and really only do the maintenance where it needed. So you are not doing the maintenance depending on the time, you are doing maintenance depending on the usage. And it is also extremely important to connect, for example, if you have stops in the machine, what is causing the stop, what can you do to mitigate the interruption. So sometimes you can see that machines are stopped by the emergency stop that is only designed to be stopped in an emergency situation. So that can wear out to the machine and give some additional cost. So that insights that brings, I think it's very valuable from end user point of view.
That's really interesting. From a more, high level perspective, what is the most important, when it comes to start sort of a digital engineering project?
Yeah, it is very important to have a strategy for it and really have the team that has time to look at it. So it's not something that is just something you do on top of what you're doing. So really allocate time, do a strategy, involve decision makers so they can be really connected and see what will this digital transition give. So you can see the value of it, you can see you will save money, you can get the understanding of how much more you can learn from your customer. I think it's very important to share that with the whole company and have that as a strategy, long-term strategy.
And also, when it comes, those people who should, be involved, from the customer, should what kind of stakeholders, what kind of titles and roles or positions should they actually have, based on your experience in this specific product here?
Yeah, I think you need to really engage on all levels. So you need to get a connection and understandable. So you accept the technology from automation point of view. You need to connect together with the mechanical engineers so you can see how the collaboration can really support the development. But the most important is actually to start with the company leaders so they can see how can they be more competitive in this region with engineering cost that is higher than in other places. You need still to be competitive. Tie this together with a sustainability strategy. So it is really on top level of priority. It is important to get the whole company into the transition, but it's important to allocate resources. That is so important. Yeah.
Right. Good point. From your experience on a more wide perspective, what kind of technology solutions are normally being most used when it comes to driving sustainability?
Yeah, as I see it, is really the importance of connect to the users you have, so the consumers you have, so you can see what is the situation now, and then you can start to do optimization and you measure the change, because it is not a big opportunity to start and change a lot of stuff without knowing what you're doing and without seeing the results. So when this digitalization journey is connecting assets together, bringing the insights to you, then you get more motivated as well to continue to optimize and continue to tune the use of chemicals. You can use like AI models, you can use machine learning to further optimize. But if you start with that and you haven't done the groundwork here and really connect and measure your devices, then it will probably be something that is only giving impact in the beginning, and you lose like the motivation to continue. This is a relentless execution over time to do the really big impact.
Thanks. How would you say that, companies are, prepared, when it comes to investments in these kind of, technology solutions and projects, to drive sustainability? Where are they normally? Have they sort of a panic mode, or don't they really know where to get started, or what's your overall experience when talking to a lot of customers in the industry?
Yeah, I think we have a very good culture of being sustainable in that sense, that we really recycle and have that into our way of living. But sometimes it could be hard to understand what can you do in your daily work, and that motivators, I think it's very important to put in place so you can actually understand what is your impact on this, because this is really about everyone's impact. But the maturity, I think it's very, very in a good level, and we are now moving more and more into the scope 3 and we'll really look into how can you not only like measure and put in place, really start to design for circularity, design to be more efficient. Like we see the example with PulPac, they have like 99% usage of their material. So all of the scrap material will go back into the machine and really create new products of that instead of scrapping a lot of material. So I think we are in a good position, and together in an ecosystem, it is a more convenient way as well to do it.
Yeah. Normally, when getting started with this kind of products with customers, how would first sort of introduction or first meeting look like? What is that? Is it that you would need the customers to bring to the table in order for you to be able actually to provide the right kind of suggestion and solution for them? How should the customer be prepared, sort of?
Yeah, I think the customer usually know this processes very well, and we need to have use cases that is adapted to the specific industry, a specific application. Then we also are more relevant to discuss where are these specific companies in their maturity, what is the good step to take, so you really don't jump over some necessary steps.
Yeah.
I think that is it matters a lot to be really specific for the industry.
Yeah, good point. And in terms of time, I think a lot of customers are always asking about how long would you define a product from the starting point to get up and running, being productive? What's your average sort of timeline there?
Yeah, they are some big power consumers, for example, the workhorses in the industry, the electrical motors. There are very fast implementation and return of investments. So if you take like a fan, if you reduce the speed with 20%, you cut the energy consumption to half. So that is the big things that I think it's important to start with, and that is only like matter of like 6 months to have a return on investments in that kind of sense. But on other hand, this is not a simple solution. I can recommend, for example, to really be around a network with people who are working with sustainability, have some good examples, share ideas, and yeah, that is also something that we do together, Rockwell, PTC, Microsoft, to be able to have like a wide perspective to the sustainability. And there are a lot of enablers for it, but these kind of platforms where you can have demonstrators, where you can have some inspiration, will of course lead you more in the right direction.
Thanks a lot, Henry, for these last words. So time is unfortunately running out.
Yep.
So special thanks to everyone for attending, and special thanks to you, Henry, of course. And with that, I hope to see you back already next week for the PTC talks about skill sets, defining, measuring, and bridging the gap in the industry by Greta Brown at Chalmers University. So with that, have a wonderful weekend and see you back next week. Take care.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.